This is Myra Elaine on the Buying Space channel. Today I'm reading from the Torah in the book of Genesis. Now the Torah, this might seem like an outrageous statement. It's kind of like manga. It goes backwards. So in the very back of the Torah is Genesis 1:1. We are on Genesis chapter 30. And this is arranged by Roman numerals, which normally I wouldn't be this brazen. I would already have this book open to chapter 30. But chapter 30 is going to be one of the easiest books to find because it's 3 big X's. There's 31. And here's 30. And when Rachel saw that she had bore Jacob no children, Rachel envied her sister. And she said unto Jacob, Give me children, and if not, I die. And Jacob's anger was kindled against Rachel, and he said, Am I in God's stead? Who hath withheld from thee fruit of thy womb? And she said, Behold, my maid Bilhah, go unto her, and she shall bear upon my knees, and I will, that I may also build up through her. And she gave him Bilhah, her handmaid, for wife, and Jacob went unto her. And Bilhah conceived and bore Jacob a son. And Rachel said, God hath judged me, and I hath also heard my voice, and hath given me a son. Therefore called his name Dan. And Bilhah, Rachel's maiden, conceived again, and bore Jacob a second son. And Rachel said, With mighty wrestlings have I wrestled with my sister, and I have prevailed. And she called his name Naphtali. And Leah now saw that she had left off bearing, and she took Zebedee her maid, and gave her to Jacob for a wife. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bore Jacob a son. And Leah said, Fortune hath come, and she called his name Gad. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bore him a second son unto Jacob. And Leah said, To my happiness, for the daughters will be happy, call me happy. And she called his name Asher. And Reuben went into the days of the wheat harvest, and found mandrakes in the field, and he brought them to Leah his mother. And Rachel said to Leah, Give me, I pray thee, of thy son's mandrakes. And she said unto her, It is not enough that thou hast taken away my husband, thou wouldest take away my son's mandrakes also. And Rachel said, Therefore shall he lie with thee tonight for thy son's mandrakes. And Jacob came out of the field in the evening, and Leah went out to meet him, and said, Unto me thou must come in, for surely I have hired thee with my son's mandrakes. And he lay with her that night. And God hearkened to Leah, and she conceived and bore Jacob a fifth son. And Leah said, God hath given me my reward, because I have given my maid to my husband. And she called his name Ishchar. And Leah conceived again, and bore a sixth son to Jacob. And Leah said, God hath endowed me with the good dowry. Now will my husband dwell with me, because I have bore him a six sons. And she called his name Zebulun. And afterward she bore a daughter, and she called her name Dinah. And God remembered Rachel, and God hearkened to her, and opened her womb. And she conceived and bore a son. And she said, God hath taken away my reproach. She called his name Joseph, saying, The Lord shall add to me another son. And it came to pass, when Rachel had bore Joseph, that Jacob said unto Laban, Send me away, and I may go unto my own place, to my own country. Give to me my wives and children, for whom I have served thee, and let me go. For thou knowest my service, wherewith I have served thee. And Laban said to him, Now I have found favor in thine eyes, and I have learned by division that the Lord hath blessed me for thy sake. And he said, Appoint me my wages, and I will give them. And he said unto him, Thou knowest how I have served thee, and how thy cattle have fared with me. For it was a little which had before I came, and it is now increased abundantly. And the Lord hath blessed thee since my coming. And now, when shall I provide also for my own house? And he said, What shall I give thee? And Jacob said, Thou shalt give me aught. If thou wilt do this thing for me, I will again feed and keep thy flock. So at this point in time, Jacob had a tremendous family and had increased his father-in-law's profits and cattle and family to abundance. So now he's parting his way. And there comes those times in life when you have to part your way, and there comes times in life when you have to rejoin your family. Different phases of life that God helps us through. Have a wonderful and blessed day, everyone.